If you're new to this channel, and my god there's a lot of you who are new to this channel, you may be wondering why I, a middle-aged, straight white, cis man, spend so much of my time ranting about what I call the TQ cult. The more militant members of the trans, queer and non-binary communities, the ones who make ridiculous demands, endlessly claiming that they're victims, whilst treating everyone else like utter dirt. Well, my concern is, the ideology is harmful to younger people, and many younger people are getting indoctrinated through social media, peer pressure, a lot of social contagion, as well as woke parents and teachers. And let's say we have a young man who gets convinced he's a young woman. Now, if in 10 years' time he decides he's not a woman, he is actually a man, if he's had his cock cut off, that's hard to come back from. Yet I also think the vast majority of those communities are just like everyone else. They're just trying to live their lives as best they can, as we will now see. Don't worry, I've got some crazies coming up later.
I have a question. How do you know that you're a woman?
Okay, so truth is, trans women aren't actually women. I know people say trans women. Lies. We are biologically men. We can't actually be women. We choose to live as women in order to help with our mental disorder, gender dysphoria. That's like the whole idea. But we're never actually women. We never actually become women. There's no woman in us. Like, we're biologically men and we attempt to live as women because we have the disorder. So nothing actually makes us women. Yeah.
How easy was that? Calm and articulate, no screaming or histrionics. Trans women aren't really women, they're men with a mental health disorder. Their words, not mine. That's someone who realises they have an issue and they're doing all they can to live with it, rather than waving their arms around and relying on lazy gender stereotypes. So we have a clip coming up from TikTok which I've had to mute to get round copyright. So that's Kelly, and Kelly knows that she is a woman because she doesn't punch drywall. Because of course, that's all us men really do. When we're not punching the wall, we're watching football whilst drinking beer, out in the garden chopping logs with an axe, or loading up the pickup truck to go hunting. Here's Kelly again, giving another reason that she knows she's a woman.
Okay, so if I as a trans woman am not a cis woman, why can I do this?
So that's the criteria. That is what womanhood has been reduced to. If you have the ability to scream and don't punch walls, you're a woman. Now this concerns me because I don't punch walls and I can't scream as high as Kelly because I haven't paid a surgeon to play with my vocal cords to make me sound more feminine, but I can scream. Therefore, apparently I'm a woman. The missus is in for a shock. So let's see another trans woman to explain what a woman is. However, this one is as convincing as Mike Tyson putting on a gingham dress and trying to pass himself off as Judy Garland.
You're not a woman, you're a trans woman. Oh, that's not a car, it's a Toyota. Oh, don't worry, those aren't vegetables, they're just carrots. I don't drink alcohol, I only drink tequila. It's almost like things don't need to be mutually exclusive, and a trans woman is simply just a category of women. Amazing how that works.
Remember the first trans woman? That trans women are men dressing as women to alleviate a mental disorder? Compare that to this Orwellian doublethink, this manipulation of language to try and prove a nonsensical point. That's not a car, it's a Toyota. That's not a carrot, it's a vegetable. No one talks like that. They would say that car is a Toyota. That vegetable is a carrot. What no sane person would say, though, is that biological man is a woman. If you were born with a cock and bollocks, you are male. You will never be female. Humans cannot change sex. And no matter how much you try to twist the language, that will not alter reality. In 1969, man landed on the moon. Now, 55 years later, over half a century later, I'm recording a video explaining that women don't have penises. What fucking progress we've made. So far, we've met a sensible trans woman who lives in reality and some light indoctrination from another two. So now let's move it up a gear and see what the non-binary crowd are saying. So next up we have a TikTok, a rather lengthy TikTok, in which the individual whose TikTok profile describes them as non-binary, but in this clip appears to refer to themself as a trans woman. Fuck it, at this point who cares? They seem to be jealous that women are gatekeeping one aspect of womanhood.
I love it when cis women say that trans women aren't women because trans women don't know what it's like to experience misogyny, and trans women don't know what it's like to experience the bad parts of womanhood, like misogyny or catcalling or anything like that. But then when trans women say, actually, I do experience these things, and I feel validated when I experience them because you seem to be gatekeeping womanhood behind misogyny, they say, oh no, you're not a real woman because you find misogyny validating. They tell us that, oh no, you're not a real woman because when you experience misogyny, you feel validated in your gender. Like, you're the one who defined womanhood as experiencing misogyny. You're the one who did that. So when we say, I feel valid when I experience misogyny, and you tell us, no, that means you're not a woman. Like, brain cells reduced to 0.
I agree, mate, you are using 0 brain cells. And ladies, how dare you gatekeep experiencing misogyny? Now, I can't speak for women, but I highly doubt there are any who, when preparing for a night out, are thinking, I hope I get leered at by some creepy perverts tonight. Maybe some drunk men will shout things at me, grab my ass. Hey, if I'm really lucky, I might get sexually assaulted. What this nutjob has done is take a fear which is totally legitimate and has fetishised it. So this chap gets his rocks off by being mistaken for being a woman and being treated in a sexist manner, even though he's also a man and he's non-binary. And getting catcalled. Sorry, has this bloke just stepped out of a portal from 1992? Because I'm calling bullshit. Maybe I'm wrong, but you just don't see it anymore. Because, at least in the UK, our police can't catch terrorists or arrest illegal immigrants. But if you were driving a transit van, wound the window down and shouted, "All right, darling," the old Bill would pull you over and have you out of that van on the floor and tasered before you had a chance to put the handbrake on. And now a very short clip on why someone knows they're non-binary.
Okay, here's how I know I'm non-binary. I stopped getting sad, and now I just get violently angry. Like a man.
Oh, we're back to that again, are we? If you get angry, you must therefore be at least partly male. It's amazing how the progressive trans and non-binary types use outdated stereotypes that those of us who don't believe that men can have babies or that there are 2,000 different genders no longer do. So the final person we'll meet talks about being non-binary at school. However, I have checked, she is an adult. And why are so many youngsters saying they're non-binary? Well, I think a lot of it's social contagion. Also, though, it means that they're special. And most importantly of all, they're allowed to earn victimhood points.
What it's like being non-binary at school.
Go and sit next to Hope, she's at the back.
Miss, I actually go by they, them pronouns.
I really don't care, Hope. That's not a thing, and I'm not using them for you. Are you okay?
Not really. I am like dying for a wee, but there's only male and female toilets here. There's no gender neutral ones.
Oh, you weirdo. No wonder you're set on your own. Nobody wants to be friends with a freak. Enjoy having no friends.
So, I don't feel comfortable getting changed in the girls' or the boys' changing room.
Well, obviously you're not getting changed with the boys, but you are with the girls since you are one. Now stop complaining and get dressed.
The irony that her name is Hope. Unless, of course, her middle name is Les. Or if Hope is her middle name and her first name is No. So let's work through it. First up, the teacher not using they, them pronouns. Well, there's no compelled speech here in the UK. And just because the TQ cult choose not to live in reality, it doesn't mean the rest of us have to follow them. And it's very telling that it's always take and no give. It's all use my pronouns, change the language, always to the detriment of women, to make me feel more comfortable, affirm me, validate me. Yet, if someone like me says, I don't like being called cis, they'll be screaming and getting out all the ists and isms. Next up, the being desperate to use the toilet. Am I missing something here? Because no matter what she identifies as, she's female, she's a woman, she's got girl's parts, she has to sit down to piss. Now, what is the difference once you've gone into the toilet cubicle and closed the door between a women's bathroom and a gender-neutral bathroom? In a gender-neutral bathroom, a non-binary bathroom, if there's soft music playing and a computerised voice saying, you're special, you're special, you're so special, you're so special, you aren't fucking mental. The idea that someone would experience bullying and physical violence for being non-binary, of course, that's not acceptable. Violence is never acceptable. That's a total fucking lie. There's plenty of people who need a bloody good slap. But how realistic is it? Because aren't there plenty of schools who are flooded with this crap? I swear there are some teachers who walk into class at the start of the day and say, children, you're meant to be here to learn to read and write, but instead I'm going to explain to you why some women have cocks. The last point about not being comfortable getting changed in either locker room, that's the serious one for me, but also the one with only one solution. You can't put a teenage girl into a changing room with a load of teenage boys. And the idea of a gender-neutral changing room, first of all, the school have got to find the money to build it. And secondly, sadly, no matter what she identifies as, she's still female, there will be males who will watch her enter that room and will follow her, sadly, to do things which are unspeakable. So no matter what she identifies as, the only option is to get changed in the girls' changing room. Although oddly, if you're a middle-aged man and say you identify as a teenage girl, you can use that changing room as well. If you're trans, in many aspects of life, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Of course, that is the exception, not the rule. But going back to the changing room thing, for this hypothetical young woman, because as I said, the woman who recorded that TikTok, she is an adult. If we had a teenage girl saying that she's non-binary and doesn't want to get changed in the girls' changing room, I would say, you're at high school, you're at a pivotal point in your life where you go from being a child to a young adult. So if you want to be treated as an adult, fucking grow up. That's the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe. And as ever, thanks for watching this channel. And bend me over and fuck me like a $10 whore. There's a lot of you. Middle-aged, fucking... Can't even fucking swear right. Orwellian doublethink required to... Fuck it. Men do. Punch walls, drink beer, wire plugs, put up shelves. In 1969, man landed on the moon. Fuck off conspiracy theorists. Don't believe the evidence of a... Fucking hell.